This is where every driver hopes to be at the end of 60 laps today in Victory Lane for this, the most prestigious race in the 1UP Superstar Series calendar. For 60 laps this afternoon, drivers will be putting it all on the line for the hope that one of our 42 starters, will have their lives changed forever for this, the 7th annual running of the Daytona 500. And alongside me in the booth to bring you all the action for this race and most every race in the Superstar season this year is Jesse Turner with us for this season. Great to have you with us. If the anticipation for this race, I would expect to be boiling over by the time we take the green flag. So much is built up to this, and I, for one, am ready to see it unfold.
Oh, you betcha. As am I. And I'm fortunate to be able to get to experience all this. I mean, the big show right here, about to start in front of a beautiful crowd here in Daytona Beach, Florida. And I'm glad I got a little bit of warming up to the 1UP Superstar Series with the shootout as well as the duels. And now this will be the big test. I'm excited for what's to happen. We got so many stars and cars here of the 1UP Superstar Series about to take battle, and it's a pleasure to be up here with you today.
It's going to be a lot of fun, as it usually is here at the Daytona 500, because any one of these 42 drivers has a chance to win today if everything goes right for them. We'll see which one it'll be at the end of 60 laps here this afternoon. As we can now bring you the starting lineup for this big monumental race. Miles Mashburn, of course, on pole position. He claimed that a couple weeks ago. Eric DeMax to his outside in his 1UP Superstar Series debut here today. Patrick Smith, Henry Thomas, your two dual winners from last week. They make up row 2, with rookie Ryan Reed and the returning Jake McMillan making up row 3. But we've got a lot of other stories to keep our eye on in this one. We've got the big Cinderella story of the week, Courtney Ancelotti making her superstar debut in this race, starting in 12th, and all the way at the back of the field, you have Christian Vargas, a two-time champion of the series, starting all the way down in 42nd. But even he has a shot to win this big race, because keep in mind, Emma Kruger, who won this race last year, she started this race down in last en route to her victory.
Oh, you betcha. And just from guys from Mashburn down to Vargas and all of the other 40 drivers in between, I mean, you got a whole array of experience. But Daytona, I mean, while experience can help to some degree, Daytona may not always favor the experienced drivers. I mean, you could look for rookies to get it done, like Eric DeMax, Ryan Reed, Rhodes Gray, Courtney Ancelotti, David Wells, Jeremy Frey, and a whole bunch of others, or even guys who have been going on winless streaks for a while. They may look to break through as well as Emma Kruger. She's down in the 34th starting position. But yeah, just it's hard to take a pick. You can pretty much pick them all. They're all eligible to win this one.
Absolutely. This is what we love about Daytona. Any of these 42 names could be the one in victory lane, but only one can really get themselves there. And with that being said, we can bring you to the green flag just as it's about to come into the air, because this is what you've all been waiting for. This is the 1UP Superstar Series season opener. This is the Daytona 500, and it's coming at you live in just a short while here. This is what these fans have been waiting for all week long. It is the Daytona 500, and with the pace car about to pull off, there it goes. It leaves us in the hands of the teammates out front, Miles Mashburn and Eric DeMax. The green flag is out, and the 7th annual Daytona 500 is underway with a good launch off the line by Miles Mashburn. He is going to lead the field out of the tri-oval. He's got some good help behind him from Patrick Smith in the 22, winner of the first dual race last week, and they will lead the charge off into turn 1.
And as the field comes up to speed, there's Mashburn and Smith following each other along. No need to rush here. We got 60 long laps, here to figure this race out. And you see them fan out on the back straightaway. Again, it's totally fine to stay patient. The 22 of Patrick Smith can just stay calm behind the 72 of Mashburn as DeMax tucks back in behind the 22 in third place.
These three starting to pull away from the rest of the field. It will be Miles Mashburn out of the final corner, leading the opening lap. But Eric DeMax, he wants to go help his teammate establish a command of this race. He gets underneath Patrick Smith out of the tri-oval, and DeMax will try and move himself up into the second position behind his teammate. But further back, Devin Fair started this race down in 7th. He's already up to the 4th spot, but he's under fire for that position. Ryan Caggiano in that 5 car qualified his way into the main race, and now he is battling the former champion for a spot in the top 5.
Cool to see for Caggiano leading the way on the inside. Now Patrick Smith doing a little crossover on the 66 of DeMax. And for that 72, Zaxby's ride of Mashburn, he just wants to see this in his rearview mirror. These guys just trading positions, dicing side by side, back and forth, because it's just going to let that 72 pave the way for the clean air for everybody. And that was the 22, the 66, the 5 on the inside. And behind the 5, looks like you got Stephen Gale in the picture, I believe, who was also behind Caggiano.
And behind him, you got one of the rookies, Cameron Brennan, making his full-time debut in the Superstar Series. He was in a wild wreck in this race last year. He's hoping for a much better outcome today than he had 1 year ago. But look at this, DeMax already trying to give Patrick Smith a bit of a headache to allow Mashburn to establish control over the race. We were only 3 laps in to this Daytona 500, and Mashburn's led them all, but I have a feeling that one of these cars is going to give the 72 a good run for his money here before too long.
That's right, and I do recall in the second duel, we saw Julio Cesar be the dominant car of that duel before it was lap cars, I believe, who ended up getting the best of the double zero, and that allowed Patrick Smith to take the win. Or excuse me, Henry Thomas was the winner of duel 2. He got the win over Julio Cesar, so nothing is guaranteed for Mashburn in this race lead. As there goes the 52 of Gale, the 90 of Cameron Brennan, and now we're starting to see 3 wide within the pack.
And Brennan's being followed by Ben McDonald, David Wells making his one-off appearance in this Daytona 500 in that 57, and right behind him, you mentioned him just a moment ago, Julio Cesar, who dominated duel number 2 before fading to a mid-pack finish after some lap cars got in his way. He is determined now to make up for that here in this 500. We're only on lap number 5, but I just have a feeling we're going to see that double zero up at the front before too much more time has passed.
Double zero definitely running really good. I mean, he did qualify 18th, but he's already up into the top 5. That could be easy to do at a place like this. Just stay in line, get enough momentum with you, and you can either gain a whole lot of positions or lose a whole lot at the same time. Mashburn still shows the way, and Cameron Brennan, we haven't seen too much of him in his Superstar Series endeavors. I mean, at least on a full-time basis. And now he's got a grand opportunity in that 90 car. Up into second, there's Stephen Wells trying to go to the inside of Ben McDonald, the shootout winner on the beach course. McDonald's going to shut the door, but good to see rookies like Wells and Brennan run this high up.
Yep, and yeah, David Wells has now made his way up into the 4th position. This is a really strong run for a team that's never made a Superstar appearance before. But look at this, down to the inside. Miles Mashburn's run at the front of the field might be over here because Cameron Brennan's going to try and take the lead away. Ben McDonald, though, goes with his fellow Chevrolet in the form of Mashburn. So Brennan's going to have to rely on David Wells to give him a bit of a push, but Mashburn's already back clear. Almost, he doesn't quite clear into 3. That's going to give Brennan an advantage coming through 3 and 4.
And there's the 2 drivers with the R initial next to their name. That signifies that they're rookies, and they are helping each other out to dethrone Miles Mashburn for the lead. And on lap 6, it's going to be...
Oh, we got one spinning in the back. We got one around it. It's Bobo Jones coming up back into the pack. A big crash going into turn 1. Ryan Griffin involved. Jeremy Frey, Lane Sanders all piling in. Logan Williams involved as well. Oh, we got Bobo Jones, and Williams is upside down.
Wild crash into turn number 1, only on lap 7 of the race. Oh, this is so tough to see, especially so early on. Lots of drivers with so much damage.
And that is a severe blow, but the rest of the field going to race their way back to the start-finish line to complete lap number 7. I think Cameron Brennan's going to have the advantage. Oh, Bobo Jones, the one representative for Stormbreak Motorsports in this race. Ryan Griffin, after missing this race last year, had such high hopes. His race looks to be over as well. And Logan Williams, who went on his lid in that wild wreck. But we've got our first caution of the day on just the 8th lap of the race for a multi-car accident in the turn number 1 that it looks to have eliminated a lot of very fast race cars. So this is where Bobo Jones was running. Oh, he just drifts up the track into Cody Goforth, tries to fill the hole back in, but Keon Daly was already there. Touches off a spin, sends Daly back up into the pack, and touches off a big accident here. Ryan Griffin nowhere to go. Lane Sanders, Nicky Martinez in the 43 did a good job sneaking past, but then Jones comes back into the picture and just tips the 8 up onto its roof, and that is probably going to end the day for all three of these guys.
And more guys up ahead were collected in that as well. You saw all the smoke and the tire marks and everything led it, so it's not just those three that got significant damage in this.
Looking at this now from William Brock, he was a little further in the pack in this 93, and yeah, there's just nowhere for him to go. He sees all the smoke, tries to slow down, and he thought he was clear of it, but then got turned by the 4s, Aiden Davidson, then by the 25, up and into the wall. Very unfortunate circumstances for William Brock, who was hoping to kickstart his season off in the right way. One final look at this from the perspective of Logan Williams. You saw he was at the back trying to make sure he wasn't involved in a situation like this, but like I said, just nowhere to go when the cars stack up in front of you. Gets caught up onto the outside wall, slides down right into the path of Bobo Jones, tipping the 8 onto his roof, and that's Team Duke's hopes of winning the Daytona 500 dashed in a matter of seconds. So we're on lap number 10. We're under caution for the first time. Cameron Brennan leads the race. We've had 3 cars at least knocked out of the race as a result of that opening crash. Bobo Jones out, Ryan Griffin out. Logan Williams tried to make minimum speed, was unable to do so. He is also out of the race. We'll take a look in a little bit, see if anyone else was knocked out. I would expect at least one more, maybe. Well, we'll figure that out in a minute because we've got a restart on our hands. We've got a lot of damaged cars. I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to maintain minimum speed or not. But if they can't, which it all seems likely that they couldn't, that'll draw the eye of the officials, and they will pull those cars in as well. As you can see, Lane Sanders also out of the Daytona 500. His hopes of notching up a second win in this race will not happen.
Yeah, I'm surprised the 8 car of Williams, he did get rolling again and tried to make pace here at the Daytona International Speedway, but the 1-Up Superstar Series officials just deemed him too unsafe to make minimum speed conditions. So unfortunate for those 4 guys, but when they get back around here in a lap, we'll see who the other damaged cars are. We'll see how long they can last and if they're just able to ride around this track here the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for those guys because any amount of aero damage you take here at this place will really hamper your efforts for the remainder of the afternoon. But so far so good for Sanders Performance Autosport. They may have 1 car out of the race, but their other 2 are up in the top 5 right now. Cameron Brennan leading the race and Julio Cesar back in 4th. So all hope is not quite lost for the Spa team, but they're going to have to regroup and get after it, especially now that we've had our first wreck of the race.
And that's unfortunate for Sanders being among one of the cars eliminating that, as he never really got a chance to show that 87 car's potential. So now it's going to be the 90 and the 00 who will have the chance to work together, as they didn't get that opportunity in the duels, but now here in the Daytona 500, both Spa cars will try and form up some sort of union. But you also got David Wells and also Miles Mashburn, who also wants to take the lead back.
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? We're going to take the restart here with 49 laps to go. Everybody still has to make 1 pit stop to make it to the end of this race. So we'll expect to see that somewhere past halfway, maybe about lap 35 or so. Then we'll see these guys on pit road. But for now, we're looking towards the pace car as he looks towards pit road so we can get this race restarted.
Restarting with a fifth of the way through this race. The 90 of Cameron Brennan looks to get on the gas real quickly and get an advantage. He does get a good jump over the 57 as we are racing once again. Mashburn up to the top. He leaves the door open for Julio Cesar. That's not good.
No, but I think he had the jump to the high side because David Wells did not get a very good restart and was backing to pack up. Mashburn tried the jump to the outside to get past the 57 to no avail. Now Ben McDonald gets to his inside in their battle for 4th spot. Julio Cesar, though, this is the car that I'm keeping my eye on today. He was so strong in his dual race, and if he can get out front in that 00, look out.
Oh, you betcha. That could be the case. But now you got other contenders here. You got Ben McDonald as well as the 04. Trying to get a name on him there. Austin Liang, who's in his presence up here in the top 5. I see Rhodes Gray in the 46 as well. Stephen Gale. So you got those contenders up there to maybe have a shot at that 90 car.
And remember, Austin Liang making his One-Up Superstar debut as well for the Eclipse Group, running the full season in that 04 car.
Back there.
I think I saw that too, and it might have been the 6 of Joshua Michaels. We didn't get a good look at that, but I'm seeing him tumble down the order, and that could be Michael's race run and done as well. But there he is at the back in the LG machine. So his race is over, but that's a tough break because he was the one Roberts car. We didn't really know what he was capable of. We didn't really see him up at the front in his dual race, and now we're not going to get a chance to see what he can do in the 500. His race looks to be over now as well. But like the Spa team, Roberts Racing does have 2 cars still in this lead pack that both think they have a shot to win this race.
Upgrade from Michaels is now Miles Mashburn is now the lead Roberts Racing car up in this pack, but still having a good look at Austin Liang. Good to see him, the newcomer in the series, just to get this seat time and get this Daytona experience. I mean, the only real, way to learn how to ride the horse is get on it and master it. And Liang doing a terrific job here in this draft and race conditions, and the Eclipse Group looking real pretty up here in the top 5. As you also got Gale, Rhodes Gray, Devin Fair, and also Echo Evans Ross right about there, as they're about 2 ride for about 7 rows deep.
But one thing that's been a constant since the restart, Cameron Brennan has been leading this race throughout. Julio Cesar, for some reason, has not been able to get alongside and around his rookie teammate. And he might be trying it right here. This is what I was wondering, because I don't think the 00 had much of a chance earlier because he hadn't gotten a run on him. But now he is, and he's going to get a little help from Ben McDonald.
Yes, he is. The 00 creeping up towards the 90, and now he's going to get the added help from Ben McDonald. So solid job by Caesar, and now he's back in a familiar place, just like in his dual race the other night, and a quarter of the way through it, the 00 and the 90, both the Spa teammates remaining in this race. There they are side by side. Give the edge to Julio Cesar.
And that is bad news for the rest of this field, that Julio Cesar is up at the front of this field leading laps. As we can confirm, it was Joshua Michaels out of the race with that blown engine. It's a tough break for the 6. We'll see him again at Rockingham in a couple weeks. But back at the front of the field, it continues to be the Brazilian veteran Julio Cesar and the Scottish rookie Cameron Brennan battling side by side for the lead. No longer, Brennan's able to clear his teammate once again, so the 90 back on point.
And you saw the 04 of Austin Liang. He ducked 3 wide to put Ben McDonald in the middle, and I think that's what hurt the 00 of Caesar. He didn't have any solid pusher behind him, and that allowed the 90 to get by on the outside. But now you got Caesar and Wells side by side for second, and now Mashburn's the unlucky one on the outside. Hopefully he won't get freight trained too badly. And yeah, he's still the only one 3 wide, as you also got Patrick Smith up there. Evan Caggiano. Eric DeMax is now in the middle in that 66.
Yeah, I think DeMax wanted to give a hole to Mashburn to let him slot back in. I think, he's in line now, but once they get into 3 and 4, that'll change as McDonald pulls low, I think. Well, now DeMax is the one caught in the middle all by himself, so a bit of a fluid situation in the middle of the pack. But we still have 24 cars in this lead pack, all of whom believe they have a shot to win this Daytona 500, as we got a couple stragglers at the back. William Brock with a lot of damage. I think Emma Kruger's back there as well. Their hopes of a good day are definitely over, and their hopes of finishing this race could be dashed as well.
I mean, if they can make minimum speed, good. They can keep on cruising around, but back up to the top 4. Here's Brennan along with the 00. Still, Spa having a stranglehold over this pack.
And One-Up officials have brought the hammer down to now call William Brock and Emma Kruger to the pits. Their Daytona 500 is over. Emma Kruger will not win back-to-back 500s this year. But you said it, at the front of the field, continues to be a spa stranglehold on this race with Cameron Brennan leading, Julio Caesar second, but here comes Austin Liang with a huge run of momentum. He's going to try and get underneath Caesar, but he doesn't have a lot of help down there to make it stick.
Still a good try by that 04 machine, just trying to go solo and just test the abilities that the Eclipse Group machine has. But now the top 6 cars looks like in single file right there, as there's Rhodes Gray to the inside of Liang in the 46, as well as the 21 Devonfair. And I also see your Duel 2 winner, Henry Thomas. He's also making an appearance.
And Thomas has not been the victory lane in a points race in this Superstar Series for a very long time. He is going to try and do whatever he can to break that winless streak. If not today, then certainly this season. This is going to be one of his better chances as he now pulls underneath Rhodes Gray to try and make it a 3-wide situation for the 3rd spot.
And Caesar tried an attempt at the lead on Cameron Brennan, but was unsuccessful. As we see Nick Ortiz right there, but we got the 46. He is now going to be the one to possibly lend assistance to the double zero should he attempt for the lead again. You also see these damaged cars way back there. There's the 41 I saw, the 4, the 73. So yeah, and as well as the 08 of DeLello I also saw. So we'll have to see if they get a caution, or if they go caution-free, they'll be able to catch these guys. But I don't see any of that situation happening for the time being.
Yeah, no, those cars, I think some of them are going to be okay because they're running in a small group. That's probably going to save them from getting part in this race. But guys like Nick Ortiz, Jeremy Frey, I saw start those trucks with that pack. They may be getting the black flag later on in this race. We shall see. But up at the front, Brennan continues to lead, and now Rhodes Gray gets an advantage. He's going to get underneath Julio Caesar with a push from Liang, and Eric DeMax, who's starting to fight his way back to the front of that orange and white 66 machine in his Superstar debut.
Yeah, again, you can inform me if there's anyone in their debut who has won this race. I mean, I'm just a commentating newcomer to the 1-Up Superstar Series, but I'm sure it's happened before. But Eric DeMax, Austin Liang, guys like them, they definitely got that opportunity on that inside line. I mean, Cameron Brennan isn't a total debutant, but a full-time debutant, as you mentioned earlier. But you got other players as well. The 5 of Caggiano I see. Ashton Blevins, another rookie contender, trying to push that 5-car by, as that Napa machine is also emerging into the top 10 as I see.
Some cars have won in their 1-Up debut. Lane Sanders did it at Rockingham all those years ago. Several names come to mind, but nobody has made their 1-Up Superstar debut as a whole in the Daytona 500 and gone on to win it. But there are several drivers who can change that here today. Austin Liang, Eric DeMax, Ashton Blevins, to name a few. Courtney Ancelotti I see back there in the 32. She could be one of those names as well. But there's still a long way to go in this race. We're not even at half race distance. Here comes Caggiano trying to make some noise on the inside line with a push from that 55, the modified champion, Ashton Blevins.
Now it's Rhodes Gray, Caggiano, as well as the 55 of Blevins. Now it's that trio who's trying to work their way by the 90. I mean, we saw the 72 of Miles Mashburn be the one car to have a dominant hold on the field, but now it's been the 90 ever since the restart. 3-wide move by Caggiano. Down to the inside, Blevins helping him out. You also got Jeffrey Finguy, who has worked his way from near back of the pack. He's also in the mix down that 92. This is some good stuff.
Yeah, Finguy started this race down in 31st, but he has now fought his way to the front for the first time today. And that was not what Cameron Brennan wanted to see by any stretch of the imagination, was getting put top 3 wide. That's cost him a shot at commanding this race. And the officials have brought the hammer down on Nick Ortiz. His Daytona 500 is over after sustaining that kind of damage in that accident back on lap 6. But look at this. Ashton Blevins fighting his way to the front of the field in his Superstar debut for his own team, Wave Automotive, in that 55 car. They've got some help from Revolution Racing to get here. They've made the race. They're leading the race right now, but they've got some very stout competitors back there, including this 92, former champion of the series, Jeffrey Finguy, trying to take the lead of the race himself.
And I see way up on the top side that 90 of Cameron Brennan. He's already fallen back outside the top 10, so tough to see for him. But in this pack of 25 or so cars, he'll have a chance to get back on the inside and move his way back up again. But how about Ashton Blevins rising up from the modified ranks, taking that championship with him? It's a good thing to add on to his pedigree right there as he leads that Toyota in this little pack here. You got Jeffrey Finguy, David Wells, and there is the bright pink 32 of Courtney Ancelotti. Basically the miracle story of this Speed Weeks. And, she's doing a whale of the job. And she's got Miles Mashburn, the pole center, trying to give her a push right there. So good for her to get that kind of help. And now here comes Eric DeMax with a run on Blevins.
These two drivers have combined for 0 Superstar starts before today, but now they're both in command of the Daytona 500. Can DeMax lead a lap in his first start in the series? Yes, he can. So, put the 66 out in front of this field with a push from Jeffrey Finguy. David Wells back there. You mentioned Courtney Ancelotti. And there's several drivers in this pack we haven't even talked about yet. Any of them, though, could be in position to win this big race as we close in fairly soon on halfway.
Aside from that one caution on lap 7, this has been a pretty quick race. Look at these guys getting up to speeds of over 190 miles an hour, of course. If you're in Daytona, this is the birthplace of speed, as it's famously called. And, this race here today is definitely no exemption of it. But now here's the 32 of Ancelotti breaking into the top 5. Great to see for her. She's got the 72 of Mashburn pushing her along as well. And you also got that John Deere machine right there of Ryan Reed, who started up in the top 5, another one of the rookie contenders. So nice new names to be mentioned up here in this top pack as we're still focusing on the 32 as she pushes the 57.
And going back to what you were saying about Ryan Reed, he won the Nitro National race here at Daytona last year. He commanded that race. He led almost 80% of that race en route to victory. He hasn't led yet today, but that 58 has managed to hang with the lead pack all day, and it wouldn't surprise me a bit if Ryan Reed in that 58 managed to get his way to the front. But the highest forward currently is actually a battle for second between David Wells and Jeffrey Finguy, both of whom currently pilot Mustangs, and they run second and third.
Again, a beautiful thing about the 1-Up Superstar Series, you got all this manufacturer diversity right here. You got a Chevy leading the way, along with the Fords battling for second and third, and just a whole lot more to be represented here. And not just driver pride or team pride, but manufacturer pride. That's also a heavy thing that the top manufacturers of the series wants to achieve as well. They want to be the one to be the winning make here in the Daytona 500. Is now DeMax is the lone Pied Piper as he's controlling several lanes of 3 wide, about 7 or 8 of them back. As now we're coming up to the halfway point. It's the 66 out front, and he will do it.
Next time by will be half race distance. Who will lead that lap? Miles Mashburn's fought his way back up to the front of the 72. He's going to try and take it off his teammate. But we've got 6 manufacturers in this Superstar Series, and we have all 6 represented in this lead pack. That is a very good thing for this series to have that level of diversity in this series. Mashburn and DeMax, though, and powerful Chevy Camaros battling side by side for the lead. DeMax has some help from David Wells, but now Courtney Ancelotti is going to try and return the favor. Mashburn helped her up to the front of the field. Now she's going to try and push the 72 to lead this halfway lap.
Going to be neck and neck between Mashburn and DeMax. They were 1-2. Taking the green flag. They're 1-2 at the halfway mark, and Mashburn's just going to get the advantage over DeMax right there. Well, they got it 2 for 2. They got it at the beginning and the halfway. Imagine what it'll be if they were to be 1-2 at the end. That'll definitely be something, although it's going to take a lot of luck and skill to make that happen.
But we are halfway home in this 7th running of the Daytona 500. Miles Mashburn has established himself as the race leader, but Eric DeMax is trying to forge his way back out in front. This rookie is no joke. Who, of course, is the defending Nitro National Series champion. He's going to try and defend that championship. Had a really strong run in the Nitro National race yesterday, but this is what he's trying to focus on right now, getting the lead back in this 500. And look who else is coming back up to the front. It's the Duel 1 winner, Patrick Smith, with a push from Ben McDonald.
That's awesome to see there. I mean, the 22 and the 16, both the dual winners, they are still very much in contention of this thing. I mean, Patrick Smith definitely has a strong car. You also got the shootout winner, Ben McDonald, up in the picture. And behind McDonald, can't quite see the number who that is, but I don't believe we talked about him just yet as well.
Yep, that's the 51 of Cale Tescar Jr. We haven't seen what he can do in this pack. He started this race down in 37th place. Actually, all three of the Revolution Racing cars started 36 or worse. Tescar is the only one of those three in the lead pack. As they come up quickly on Jeremy Frey, I expect the black flag will be coming for him any moment now, so he can try and avoid getting in the way of these leaders.
Gonna go on to the 63, but yeah, like Cale Tescar Jr., a nice charge up by him. They're gonna run up on the 63 very rapidly, and it's gonna be quite the thing to see. Is that 63 going to pull down, or are these leaders gonna negotiate their way around them?
Well, they're gonna get held up here pretty quickly because Frey's been called to the pits to retire from the race. He does so here, and he's gonna bring a lot of people with him. This is gonna start the green flag pit cycle right here. And ironically enough, it's the retiring car of Jeremy Frey leading him into the pit lane. But we've got at least 6, 7, or 8, 9 cars coming into pit road. Patrick Smith's there, Ben McDonald, Eric DeMax, Cody Goforth back there in the 64. But this is going to kick off green flag pit stops here at Daytona.
I also see Echo Evans Ross stopping right there along with Daniel Bouchard. So now Mashburn is going to be the one to lead the way over Ancelotti and Devin Fair, should they come in on lap 34. So this will be the only guaranteed pit stops that these guys will get. They should be able to have enough fuel to last the rest of the distance.
Ooh, I think DeLello's got a problem.
DeLello.
Yeah, he can't be quite out of fuel yet. I think this is a transmission issue on that 08 car. He's limping it home. This might be the end of his Daytona 500, but we got more cars coming to pit road here. Mashburn being among them. Henry Thomas is there. DeLello just limping his way into the pits. I think he's going to get there without the need for a caution flag. But Courtney Ancelotti, in her one-up superstar debut, is now leading the Daytona 500.
Check that out, and very unfortunate for the 08 of DeLello. He was riding around near the back of the pack anyway, and this is just going to make a bad day worse for DeLello. But now Ancelotti, she's got David Wells thought about making a risky move right there, but Ancelotti on lap 35, I imagine she might not go much longer, and here she comes into the pits.
So that leaves 3 cars who have not yet made their pit stops. That would be Austin Liang, who leads in his superstar debut at the Daytona 500. He leads Jeffrey Finguy, who also hasn't stopped yet, and Ashton Blevins in the 55, who I think might be running out of gas because he is falling off these two at a rapid rate.
Oh, that's not good news for Ashton Blevins. And yeah, he's a considerable amount of distance back from the top 3, and yeah, he's pulling that 55 onto the apron back there in the background. But now the 04, the 92, they're the last couple of cars to make a pit stop, and yeah, that 55, that sucks to see. 36 laps was a little bit too much to ask, but thankfully for Liane, as well as Finguy, now their crew chiefs should be telling them to come in this time.
And they do, so that should cycle the lead back to probably Miles Mashburn, I'd have to guess, because he was... Well, actually, hold that thought. We have a couple cars who topped off for fuel and repaired damage back on lap 9. They could be leading this race, and here they are. Francois Chastain, Sam Donotto, Zayden Davidson, across the line to go, and Francois Chastain, in his superstar debut, will be leading the Daytona 500 as well.
Man, that's crazy. So, yeah, we had those guys that topped off during caution number 1. Because there we see the 20.
Yeah, he also stayed out.
Keon Daly.
So he also has to come down pit road, but he's by himself. So it's the 25, the 4, the 77, and the 20. Those are the only cars that have yet to make their pit stops. You see Finguy and Liang cycle their way back onto the track. Mashburn and the rest are in the group by themselves. You got a couple stragglers at the back. Blevins is going to rejoin the race. He's going to lose all his track position, though, and he might be in danger of losing a lap if this thing carries on for much longer.
And there go the 04 and the 92 off the pit road, and it looks like, I believe, once those 3 up ahead make their pit stops, I think the lead should go back to Miles Mashburn. So that 72 team, the Roberts Racing team, a fantastic execution on the pit stop of him as we see the 92 of Finguy rejoin the track in front of Go Forth and Echo Evans Ross.
Daniel Bouchard's back there.
Yeah, and also Daniel Bouchard, the 73. That'll be about 20th place right there. But there's the 72, along with Devin Fair, Cale Tescar Jr., Cameron Brennan, and Patrick Smith, the projected top 5. But we'll have to see what these three cars do and how much longer they can last.
Well, they're going to hang it out a little bit longer. I think they can go probably to about that 41, 42, I'd guess, before they come down pit road. Maybe even a little longer. They got to be hoping for a caution flag to come out pretty soon to get them caught back up to the rest of the field. It's a bold call, but they weren't going to win this race by doing what the leaders do. I highly commend what they're doing, as long as they can make it work.
And they are picking up a draft from the 55 of Ashton Blevins, so that'll help their case at least a little bit with stretching the fuel. But no, if a caution doesn't come out at least some point before they have to make a pit stop, then they're kind of out of luck. But at least props to them for at least trying to plug it out and just keep on logging the laps and see what happens. They're pitting right now.
So that I expect Keon Daly will pit as well once he comes around to the start-finish line. There he is in the AT&T number 20. But that should cycle the lead back to Miles Mashburn once this cycles out. And yes, Keon Daly does bring it down pit road. So Mashburn will assume the lead. He's got about 6 cars in this pack. Got Cameron Brennan, Devin Fair, Cale Tescar Jr., Patrick Smith, and Ben McDonald. These 6 are going to be your race leaders. And unless something happens between now and the checkered flag, they could be the ones fighting for this win.
Interesting stuff right here as we got almost 20 to go. When they get back around, we'll be at the 2/3 mark. But it is these top 6 cars. And then you also got the 42.
Oh, we got one blowing up, and it's Ancelotti.
Oh.
Her Daytona debut, her dream debut at Daytona is over in a matter of seconds. Courtney Ancelotti was running in that second pack, trying to chase down the leaders, but her engine says 40 laps is too much, and that 32 Vice Valley Motorsports car will try to limp it back to the pits. This is going to be critical to keep our eye on, because if she can't make it back, that'll certainly draw a caution.
Very unfortunate situation for Courtney Ancelotti and that number 32 team. They were looking so good to maybe get a dream run out of this, and that 32 is just crawling slower and slower, and I don't see any way she's going to make it back around unless, she picks up power again, but it's looking more and more unlikely here.
So we shall see what happens here with Courtney Ancelotti, and we're looking to the lights, to the scoring tower. We're looking all over the place, trying to find a cue for a caution, and we get one. The lights are on, so caution will fly for the second time today in the Daytona 500 as a result of Courtney Ancelotti's engine failure. Miles Mashburn will lead the field back to the yellow flag, but this has just brought a whole new cast of characters into the conversation for the win.
Indeed it has, and for the 25, the 4, and the 77, I believe, Sam Donato. For those guys, that came about one lap too late, as you see. Courtney Ancelotti, her debut is going to end likely with a P32. But I like the side of this because now this is going to bring the pack back together again, so it's not all bad of a deal. I mean, bad for Ancelotti, of course. I mean, she was running great before this. But now this crowd is going to get another new treat on their hands as we're going to get a restart with just about 15 laps to go, and they're going to be in for a good one with a lot of new contenders in it.
Yeah, and the good news for us is that all 31 of the cars still in this race, they're all on the lead lap. Levins critically did not go a lap down, so he's still in the fight, as are the likes of Chastain, Davidson, and Donato. So we've got 31 cars still in this race, and they're all capable of winning this 500.
That's right, yeah, and you just can't count anyone out. I mean, like we said in the pre-race, it don't matter if you qualify first, 31st, wherever in the pack you are. So it's good for these drivers to breathe a little bit, get to breathe for a few laps, get their composures together, and battle it out for what should be the final 14, 15 or so laps for this upcoming restart. So I'm excited to see what Daytona brings us.
And keep in mind as well, We've got some faces up in this pack that we haven't talked about yet. You see that green and white car, Zachary Fitzwater back there. We haven't mentioned his name. And up in the top 10, Jake McMillan in the 42 for JHM Racing, making his return to Superstar competition after a oh-so-close year in the Nitro National Series. McMillan looking to win this race for the first time. He started this race up in 6th. He's pretty much hung around in the main pack all day, and he's right behind Julio Caesar. We know that's a fast car.
Indeed, yeah, you still have all the major contenders from every Speed Weeks event. From the shootout, you got Ben McDonald who won that. Both the duels, Patrick Smith and Henry Thomas, they're still in the mix. You got both the front row sitters of Mashburn and DeMax, and then all these drivers with varying amounts of experience in between. And when the green flag happens, we'll see who can prevail out of them all.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see who cashes in at the end of the day, because we have 31 cars on this lead lap, and they're all capable of winning this race. We've got guys back there we haven't talked about one bit. You see that yellow car to the right of your screen that just disappeared. That's Aaron Hall of Vice Valley Motorsports. That's a teammate to Ancelotti. He's been quietly in that lead pack all day. We haven't seen what Vice Valley can do out in the lead of this race yet, but if Aaron Hall can get up there, that's going to be something to keep an eye out for. Cody Goforth, not too far behind him in 14th. Haven't mentioned his name too much, but remember, he missed this race last year, so this is a big opportunity for him to get his season off on the right foot this time around.
That's right, and we'll see. We'll go over the top 10. You got Mashburn, you got Cale Tescar Jr., Cameron Brennan, Patrick Smith, Devin Fair, Ben McDonald, Julio Caesar, Jake McMillan, who we haven't gotten to mention that many times. I mean, you definitely can't count him out in his comeback as well. Then you got Ryan Caggiano, Austin Liang. So, I mean, definitely restarting in the top 10 would help.
So we have the one-to-go signal from the safety car. We will be going green with 16 laps of racing to go, and it will be Miles Mashburn, who has been up front for most of this race in command at the restart. Cale Tescar Jr. though, he has not won a Superstar race since 2022. It's been a while. I know he hasn't been racing that entire time, but he has been determined to get Revolution Racing back to where he thinks they should be. And this is his first race in that 51, that number that's brought so many championships, so many race wins with other drivers. And now Tescar wants to write his own legacy in that car. Could he do it with a win in the biggest race of them all?
Especially after qualifying or starting this race from way down in 37th. And you may want to remind me who exactly was the driver who won this Daytona 500 from the deepest starting position. But if it is, Cale Tescar Jr. situation, that could be a new record he could set.
It won't be a record because Emma Kruger won this race last year from starting 42nd, but Tescar would be, I believe, the first Revolution Racing driver to win the Daytona 500. So that's a bit of a surprise. With all their success in this series, they've never won the big race, but Tescar's in a good position, and we're only about 16 laps from deciding a winner as the pace car looks toward pit road.
16 laps, that's another guaranteed lap of green that these fans will get to see. Gettingtown do the tri-oval. Definitely excited for me to be in the booth watching this unfold right here. Down goes the pace car, and here comes Mashburn to the green flag,
which is now out and in the air. We're racing again at Daytona. 16 laps to go. Patrick Smith already taking a peek to the inside of Cameron Brennan. He knows time's running out, and he is looking for every opportunity he can get. Remember, he started on pole for this race last year. Didn't win it that year, but he is in a good position. But here comes Devin Fair to his inside. Going to try and squash that effort. But now Brennan pulls down in front of Fair. So we've already got some action at the front. McDonald pulls low. McMillan pulls low. We're already getting some action.
And I do see that 72 has a rather larger lead than I would assume he would have, especially right on a restart, because you can open yourself up to the possibility of these guys getting a draft on you and swallowing you alive for that race lead, which now that 90 of Brennan, who led several laps earlier in the day, he's got that chance now. Devin Fair pushing him along with McDonald, McMillan, Caggiano I see, as well as Austin Liang. So far, Mashburn still trying to be the best one out of them all, as he's still got a considerable gap over the 90 and the 21.
See, I would be concerned about that gap, but this is Miles Mashburn we're talking about. He is a longtime veteran of this series. He has 5 career wins in this series, 2 of which came a season ago. He came so close to the championship last year. This is a guy who is determined to win this championship, and not only the championship, but this Daytona 500 that he started from pole has been in control of for the vast majority. Keep in mind, we've never had a pole sitter win the Daytona 500, so Mashburn could become the first in that regard to pull it off.
That would be pretty cool for Mashburn, trying to get win number 6 and the biggest one out of them all. And as he's leading the multiple rows of 2 behind him, right back to about 18th, 19th place. And so far, we may get a little bit of 3 wide from Jake McMillan. Here he comes to put Ben McDonald in the sucker hole.
Yeah, we haven't talked about 42. We haven't talked about McMillan much today, but he has been sneaky in this pack. He started up in 6th. He finished 2nd in his dual race to lock himself into the big race. He was one of those cars that wasn't guaranteed a spot in, but look at the position he's in now, pushing his Honda teammate Devin Fair towards the front. The 21 and 42, of course, teammates at JHM Racing. One of them, they're going to try and work together to try and get and overhaul the 72. Now Fair goes up to the top lane. They're going to try and command this race from both lanes, and they're going to try and swallow up Mashburn in the process.
McMillan trying to chase down Mashburn in that 42. He also ran well in the shootout race on the beach course. But now he's got possible assistance from the 5 of Brian Caggiano. And that 42 trying to work the draft the best he can. Most of these guys within this pack still very much within reach of victory. And look at the 42 hook up with the 72, and they both now have a gap over Caggiano as well as Devin Fair. So looks like McMillan, he's content with riding onto the rear bumper of Mashburn to trying to put a distance between them and 3rd place.
And we haven't seen what McMillan can do in the lead of this race yet. We've seen Mashburn and his capabilities. He's been very strong today. And here he goes. McMillan down to the inside, trying to make a move on Mashburn for the lead. But neither of them have any help. And these two punching a big hole in the air, that's going to let Caggiano, Fair, and the rest of the field close right back up onto them. But that might be what McMillan needs, because he needs a little help to try and overhaul this 72.
And now there's the 2x2 from the lead all the way on down. So we'll have to see which one will exactly prevail, because the outside line can be beneficial at times as well. We've seen guys be able to hang on the back straightaway and keep the lead from there. Now the 72 and 42, nearly a dead heat. Mashburn's going to get the edge. We're on lap 50. This crowd is amped up. They know what's coming. They know that the intensity from these drivers is only going to keep going up. It will not go back down, because they know a win in the sport's biggest race is at stake.
And you know it's getting close to the end, because we got some new faces in the top 10 making their push. Daniel Bouchard, Aaron Hall, Cody Goforth, they're all on the inside lane, pushing Austin Liang forward in that green 04 car. But McMillan trying to nose his way out ahead of Miles Mashburn. I said further back, Aaron Hall, we haven't seen what he can do out in front in that bright yellow number 19. Man, would not be a story if he could bring a first win for his race team and himself.
As we officially are at 10 laps to go now. That's all that remains here in the Daytona 500. McMillan and Mashburn here in this first row of cars. I mean, you could basically imagine this as the starting grid, except they're going at 195 miles an hour instead. So that's an interesting way to look at it. But anyway, Caggiano and Devin Fair in that second row. You got Cameron Brennan and also Austin Liang in the third row. Then the 19 as well, Aaron Hall, who is Courtney Ancelotti's teammate. He's also in the mix and willing to make some noise here, and good for these guys to show up when it counts, but they won't have that much time remaining.
9 laps to go, And Nikki Martinez has lost touch with this lead pack, but I'm sure she's happy to see Erin Hall up in this top 10, contending for the win at the Daytona 500. This team was practically nowhere last year. DNQ's left, right, and center. But here they are in the biggest race of them all, with a shot at winning it with 9 laps to go. That is quite a turnaround for this small team.
Oh, you betcha it is, but of course nothing is guaranteed. He's sitting pretty here at the front of this pack, but you also got other hungry drivers that are looking to make their own mark. I see Daniel Bouchard, who's been riding around the back of the pack most of the day, as well as Cody Goforth there on the inside. And there's Eric DeMax. I see our outside pole sitter wanting to work his way back up on the inside because he knows that time is starting to dwindle away, so DeMax also has that same ambition to get up to the front of the pack.
Yeah, McMillan, wow, look at the gap that they had last time across the line. 3 1,000ths of a second between Mashburn and McMillan. If that had been the finish, that would have been a new record for us in the Superstar Series. But we still have a lot of racing left to go, and these guys know it. They're pushing their way to the front because they know they don't have a lot of time, but at the same time, they've got all the time in the world they need to push their way to the front. There's so much opportunity in this race. We're coming to 7 laps to go. Anything's possible.
I definitely like the way you describe it. It's like they got all the time in the world to do what they need to, but at the same time, time is ticking away, and this is pure calculated chaos here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is the exact thing that Daytona is prominent for. Just the way that these guys are on the brink of danger at high speeds, going around this racetrack to get the biggest trophy that they want to win out of any other. And they know that the opportunity is theirs, that they can make it work. You see 3 wide right there is the 72 of Mashburn. He's starting to get the advantage over McMillan now, as we see the 73 of Bouchard swing at 3 wide underneath Hall and McDonald.
But Mashburn critically has cleared Jake McMillan out of 4. So Mashburn's back in command of this race as we come to 6 laps to go, and he's starting to eke out an advantage on the 42. I think the 72's got a really good grasp on this, but you just never say never, because McMillan, we've seen, have a really strong car at the end of this race, and his teammate is right there as well in the 21, willing to help him out.
And for Jake McMillan, that could be critical if Devin Fair were to make something work. And here goes the 42. He's got to run down the inside of the back straightaway, and the momentum is on his side. McMillan trying to steal the lead away from Mashburn, just like he's been trying to do the last several laps, and check out the run he has on the inside of the corner.
He might even clear Mashburn out of 4. We're coming to 5 laps of racing to go. This is absolutely incredible stuff as McMillan pulls low to try and break the side draft of Mashburn. McMillan leads at the line. We've got 5 laps to go, and the 42 has cleared Mashburn for the lead.
And also that 42, I was about to mention, like, it's critical that his teammate Devin Fair is up here to give him assistance should he need it. But he's got to break free of Ryan Caggiano first, who was below him. I mean, Devin Fair, he's got Cameron Brennan pushing him behind him right there. But you see, it's the 42 and the 72. Ever since these guys got nose to tail, it's been their mission just to get away from everyone else and fight for this win amongst themselves.
And a quick call as well to Ryan Caggiano. He had no ride to speak of this the late stages of 2025. He was let go by Stormbreak Motorsports, citing a communication issue, but Fitzwater Australia Racing, who ironically enough will ally with Stormbreak Motorsports next season, they picked him up, and he's on pace now to give them a podium finish in the Daytona 500. We've got 4 laps to go. Mashburn pulls low on McMillan once again. These two in a league of their own out front.
Wow, and check out the distance that they have over Caggiano and Fair.
It's closing, though.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7 car lengths, but can this be a good thing for McMillan and Mashburn to be out that far? The 5 of Caggiano is clear of Devin Fair, and now he's got Austin Liane pushing him by. Can Liane possibly get this in his debut as they're closing up to the 2 leaders?
3 laps to go from Daytona. Mashburn pulls back underneath McMillan for the lead, and we still have about 25 cars still in the mix to win this Daytona 500. It's anybody's guess who's going to get it, but if I had to put money on it, I imagine the 72 and the 42 are going to be really hard to beat, although Mashburn does have an alliance partner behind him in the form of Austin Liang.
and what it would mean for Liang and the Eclipse group to be the big victors here at Daytona. And I thought the 73 of Bouchard was going to go 3 wide underneath the 04, but he thought better of it, as we also see the 00 Julio Cesar pushing the 73, so he's also trying to make some noise late as we got 5 miles of racing left to go.
And remember, those two are alliance partners, Bouchard and Caesar, pushing their way towards the front. So we got a whole bunch of teammates working their way towards the front, but we only have two laps of racing, 5 miles to go. Like you said, it's Mashburn and McMillan. McMillan and Mashburn. I think it's going to be really hard to usurp these two, but if anyone's got a shot to do it, it's been that 04, who's been sneaky up at the front all day long. We're coming to the white flag this time, and we still have about 20 cars in the mix.
Yes, that's right. The 42 trying to get the advantage on the outside. I mean, I said the outside line could work if you get the right enough run, and McMillan trying to make the best use of it. You got Caggiano and Liang. I mean, they really can't go anywhere unless they get aggressive. And for all these guys in the pack, aggression is the key. White flag is waving. The 42 takes it. Can he be this way at the next time around?
1 lap to go, 2.5 miles around the World Center of Racing to go. McMillan up high, Mashburn with Liang trying to get to his bumper, trying to push him past. But Caggiano and Bouchard and Caesar, they're all 3 wide behind him. It looks like it's going to come down to these 3 cars at the front of the field. Down the backstretch they go for the final time. Liang trying to find a way to go. He's getting looked at by Julio Cesar. I think he's going to stay clear of the 00. Mashburn to the inside. He knows he's ahead of McMillan. This is going to be a drag race through 3 and 4 and to the tri-oval. This is the finish these fans have come here to see. It's the 7th annual Daytona 500, and to the line they come. Mashburn, McMillan. Who's it going to be at the stripe? Looks like it'll be McMillan at the line by a very slim margin, 21 thousandths of a second. And the 7th annual Daytona 500 goes to the number 42 Honda of Jake McMillan, who is just pounding the steering wheel in delight. He is your winner of this great race for the 8th time in his career. He is a winner in the Superstar Series.
Magnificent finish here at Daytona International Speedway. What a treat that was for all these fans that showed up to this racetrack this afternoon. Jake McMillan, Miles Mashburn giving us a classic here at the World Center of Racing, and for it to come to a razor-thin margin like that after 500 miles of racing, I mean, you really can't ask for much more as a race fan. That was definitely exciting.
And he's taking another lap. Why shouldn't he? His 8th career win is the biggest one of them all. He's won the Daytona 500, and this is going to live with him for the rest of his life, I'm sure. Austin Liang, in his first career Superstar start, brings it home on the podium for the Eclipse Group in their first race as an organization, just nosing out Julio Cesar for that. And Ryan Caggiano, a great result for him in the top 5. You can't get much better than that either. Lourdes Gray across the line, and likely his only appearance in the Superstar Series this season. He brings it home 6th for Incendia Motorsports. That's a very strong run for that team. Daniel Bouchard 7th, Devin Fair 8th. Eric DeMax in his debut brings it home in the top 10 and 9th, with Patrick Smith rounding out the top 10. But my goodness, you want to talk about a nail-biter. That was certainly one that we're going to talk about for quite some time.
Oh, of course, yeah, and McMillan and Mashburn. I mean, you know, Mashburn, he had the car all speed weeks to put it on the pole and just have good speed all around, no matter what it was in the qualifying or in the race pace. But the 42, that team also made sure, I mean, even though qualifying didn't quite go as well planned for them, that team made sure their race trim was set up just right. And wow, the runs that he had to hang with Mashburn on the outside line, that was definitely something to see. As he's going to meet up with his very elated team, and you could tell everyone is just happy all around. And this is the kind of thing that you come to Daytona for. And, you know, whether you're a fan of him or not, I mean, it's just great to see the passion and the emotion that you get when you win the series' biggest race of all here in the 1UP Superstar Series.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So with that being said, from Jesse Turner and from myself as well, thanks for joining us for an epic Daytona 500 that checked all the boxes, at least on my count. We'll see you again in a couple weeks' time at Rockingham Speedway, because remember, this is the first of 30 races to decide a champion. We'll see you up in North Carolina for race number 2. But until we see it end, congratulations to Jake McMillan, who went from not having a guaranteed spot in the field at all to being the winner of the 7th annual Daytona 500.